incredibly busy quarter for us as we continue to look for ways to help enable your data governance and your AI governance solutions throughout our ecosystem. You're going to see a lot here. You're going to see new offerings to our platform. You're going to see lots of new features rolled out in our existing product sets. And we're really excited as we continue to march forward towards finding ways to really be the fastest way for you to get AI enabled at enterprise scale by getting all of your data cleaned up and ready for AI, as well as getting all of your AI risk under management. So a little bit of housekeeping before we go on. The topics that we're going to cover today, we're going to review, you probably saw our emails, the Wrapped 2025 campaign. So we've got some big numbers to share with you, just talking about how large RecordPoint is growing and how much we're able to scale well beyond where a lot of our competitors could even dream of. We will talk through all of our information governance updates as we continue to invest into our core platform. We have a new offering this quarter in permissions assurance. So I'm excited to show you what we can do with that to help you govern the risk of who has access to sensitive data. We've got a whole series of updates coming in for our AI governance to help you better and more easily understand the risk going against your AI side of this picture. And then at the end, we will wrap up. As part of this, want to make sure that we introduce everyone on the team. There's a few new faces that you have not seen before. We definitely want to welcome Daniela, who is helping on the InfoGov side of things, make sure that we can scale to your billions and billions of records that we are now putting under good governance to help you reduce all that risk and cut down on all those excessive storage fees that we're hearing from everyone, and overall get your data ready to feed into AI systems. Also excited to have Cormac joining us. Cormac is our product marketing manager who's going to focus on our AI governance side of the house so that you're fully aware of all the great updates we're making within that platform and how you can use them to unlock AI within your organization. A little bit housekeeping on the questions you may have. We love questions. Please ask questions because it makes this a more engaging platform. We're going to roll out a lot of stuff that, if you're engaged in, you probably are going to wonder how it works or how we are able to implement it into your organization. Post those into the comments, and we are more than happy. Myself and my team will be answering throughout the chat, but then also we'll reserve some time at the end for any questions that may be left over. So with all of that said, I want to first turn it over to Kenna, who's going to review 2025, which was RecordPoint by far's biggest year ever, thanks to all of you. So Kenna, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe. So yeah, let's kick things off with our Wrapped 2025 campaign. So I'm sure all of you are familiar with Spotify Wrapped, and this was kind of a play on our Spotify Wrapped campaign, but specifically for RecordPoint. So what we want to do in this campaign and what we've already shown through some of our communications is celebrate you, celebrate our customers, and what we've done from an information governance as well as an AI governance side of the house in 2025. So you can think of this as a look back at 2025 and all of the success that you have had with information governance, as well as a little bit of an accelerator as we head into 2026 to maybe even do some things a little bit better. So if we look at some of this data, it was what I would say is a really record-breaking year. So at this point in the game, RecordPoint customers are managing over 2 billion records under management. I think I was just looking at the ticker yesterday, and I think it's even hit 2.6 billion. So we're rapidly accelerating records under management. And I think what's really exciting as well is that obviously, we're managing all of this data, but it's really important to obviously defensively dispose of data that you don't need anymore. And across our customer base, we've defensively disposed of over 159 million records this year. So again, it's not just about managing everything as the data estate grows. It is about confidently getting rid of the things that don't need to exist in the data estate as well. And we see all of our customers successfully disposing of that kind of data. When we zoom out, all this activity translates into some pretty incredible cost savings over the past year as well. So if you look at search efficiency, we rolled out content search in January of 2025 to really support our advanced search feature, and that impact was seen across our entire customer base. So that's resulted in near $5 million in search efficiency savings. And that means that our customers, you are not hunting for information, and you're actually finding that faster and being able to do work faster as well. From a compliance perspective, this is where we've seen a ton of things add up as well. So if you look across regulations, policies, potential breach scenarios, RecordPoint has really helped customers avoid over $1 trillion in compliance risk. So that's fantastic. We want to continue to make sure that we're helping you with compliance efforts. So if you have anything that you're interested in making sure that's getting into the platform, let us know so we can build that in. And then also storage. So we touched on storage. Defensible disposal does really help our customers reduce storage costs, reduce storage of data that they are storing across their data estate. And because of records that no longer need to be stored, we have collectively saved over $700 million in storage costs, which is fantastic news. So great job, everyone. This is, the benchmark for this year, and we'll see how we can beat it next year in 2027 or 2026. Let's see. So next up, I do want to talk a little bit about how we can unwrap even bigger savings this year with Success Plan. So a lot of our customers are asking, this is great, these are big numbers. How do we achieve more? How do I become part of that number? So the easiest way to think about this is Success Plan with RecordPoint. It's kind of what I like to call having your own mini records manager helper. So from an outcomes perspective, there's a couple of things that this program really helps with. One is actually reduced operational risk. So with Success Plan, we help you take on that responsibility around regulatory compliance. So you're not carrying it alone. And so you're accelerating regulatory compliance with things that you need to. We also offer lower operational costs to help minimize records and information governance overhead, and to make it easier to scale with compounding data and without the need to constantly hire or backfill for really specialized roles. As we all know, that can be really challenging. And then lastly, our CX and experts are working directly with you to make sure that your processes are aligned with best practices that we know, as well as making sure that they're aligned with your 2026 goals. So that really leads to the same outcome of letting you stay focused on your core business while we help oversee the records management side of things and really accelerate that success and that value realized from the product. And I do want to talk about just an offer that we're running through the first quarter of this year. So right now, if you do purchase a silver or a gold Success Plan, we are offering $25,000 of additional value if you do so by the end of March. So you get 3 things with this offer. One is custom reporting and health checks. And this is really making sure that your data stays safe, obviously optimized. And it really gives you a clear view into trends that you're looking to see in 2026. So custom reporting to your goals that you're looking to achieve in the next 12 months. The second thing here is annual connector reporting. So you will get annual connector onboarding, which supports onboarding 2 new data sources each year. So I think everyone is doing a great job connecting into all the data sources across their ecosystem, but there's always more data sources that are popping up, and we want to make sure that we're helping to expand that data coverage with you. So if you're looking to bring new sources under governance without slowing down, this is a great way to do it. The last thing here is access to RexCommand teams. So we did launch this product back in September as your AI compliance manager. And with this offer, you'll get 1 free year of access to RexCommand teams, which includes that onboarding support. So if you're thinking about managing some of your AI in a better way on top of the great foundation that you've done for data, this is also a great way to start. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to your customer success manager. And we're excited to help push out this program in 2026 for you. All right, so let's talk about information governance enhancements. I'll just pass it over to Daniela to talk through a couple of new features and enhancements that we pushed out.
Thank you, Kenna. Okay, so information governance. Next slide, please. File Connect Enterprise. So we introduced the File Connect Enterprise, or FCE for short, which brings file systems under information governance. It has a flexible deployment. You can deploy FCE as a virtual machine image on your existing Windows or Linux virtual infrastructure. FCE has a modern web-based UI with no coding required. It simplifies the scanning, monitoring, and analysis, so non-technical users can run with it. Also, it has built-in reporting and dashboards, so you can visualize activity in real time without exporting to other tools. Finally, we've added the new author metadata field to give you richer context, one of our most requested features. The next thing that we introduced is in-app reporting. We introduced embedded analytics and reporting directly into the RecordPoint UI, so you can access and view your compliance and governance reports with ease. When you log in into RecordPoint via SSO, you can view your standard reports immediately without extra logins or setup. We also updated our standard reports to a new version, so now you can report on risk location, audit events, and disposal approvals. In the coming phases, we will be introducing the ability for you to create your own reports, organize them, export, and share within your organization. We're excited to introduce 2 more connectors in this update. With Event Hub, you can push records from any Azure or Kafka queues, and these will be ingested into RecordPoint. We already processed more than 2 million records since we launched, and it's a fantastic new way to integrate with the RecordPoint platform. Backbook allows you to ingest a massive volume of CSV files from an SFTP server. So if you have any historical records archived somewhere, this would be really useful for you. We have more than 800 million records ingested since launch. Coming up, our new Fetch API. This is a new way to interface with the RecordPoint connector API to integrate systems like MuleSoft, where you can publish records directly to RecordPoint. Back to you, Kenna.
Perfect. Thanks, Daniela. I think it's fantastic that we now have in-app reporting in the RecordPoint platform. So take a look at that. You'll see it on the dashboard. You can see it in the left-hand pane of the product as well. And it just makes it easier to pull insights and showcase the value of everything that RecordPoint can do, all in a single pane of glass. All right, so focusing on permissions assurance. So I know Joe mentioned permissions assurance, that we have a new offering in this space. So want to touch just a little bit on this and what it means for you. So as you've probably been aware, because some of our communications have gone out related to Redactive. So we have acquired Redactive. That happened in October of this past year, and that's now going to power what we're introducing as RecordPoint assurance. So at its core, permissions assurance is really designed to help you do 2 things really well, right? One, to help you identify risky access across your data estate. And then the second piece is to just eliminate that risky access. So you're reducing risk across your data and across your AI systems. So obviously the first and most important outcome here is to strengthen your security posture. So if you do have strong ties with IT and security, obviously information governance pairs really well with that. So this is a great product to help enhance your information and data governance strategy. Also, we all know that AI is evolving and is being adopted rather quickly. And we know that permission sprawl is one of the biggest sources of risk today for AI. So it's incredibly hard to stay on top of that at scale. And this helps you continuously understand who has access to what, where that risky access is, and allows you to fix it for the fast rollout of AI adoption. So if we take a look, and how this fits into the RecordPoint ecosystem, it really fits really nicely because we give you that strong information governance foundation layer at the very bottom there, and then we layer in permissions assurance and AI governance on top of it. So as we all know, RecordPoint is the product that you know and love today. It's really strong for data and information governance. And now we can introduce this true security and IT layer that sits on top of that foundation to easily build out that document level access map across your enterprise for risky permissions across that data estate. So if we dive into just the benefits of permissions assurance before I turn it over to Joe to do a quick demo, this really helps with three things. One is identify misconfigured permissions at scale in a unified way, very similar to what our data platform can do just for access control. A lot of organizations really can't see where their exposure lives, and permissions are different across different platforms like SharePoint, like Confluence, or other legacy systems. So this product really brings all of that into one unified view, and it analyzes both structured and unstructured sources, just like our data platform does, in the context of those records. As I've mentioned, we can fix access issues without the noise. So if you've looked into permissions assurance or access control products before, you'll notice that there's a consistent problem with these tools, and that is alert fatigue. So a lot of these tools surface everything. They treat all of these issues as the same in terms of criticality, and then they hand you this huge remediation backlog where you have to go to the data owner and you have to fix all of these things without any kind of prioritization. So we take a different approach than that, and we automatically route these context-rich recommendations so you can go to the data owner, or you can go directly to the file and change those access permissions with a lot of ease. And then, of course, we unblock AI initiatives so you can move forward with that confidence in rolling these things out. So when you know your permissions are correct and your sensitive content is protected, suddenly you know that LLMs won't surface something it shouldn't, and you can roll out those things more safely and with greater scalability. So we really ensure that your AI deployment is safe, it's governed, and it's ready before you have employees asking questions that might turn into some kind of security breach or security incident. So with that, I would love to turn it over to Joe, and Joe is going to walk through just a quick demo of our permissions assurance product and what it can do for you. So Joe, are you ready?
Yep, let's do it. So we'll give everyone what we'll call the world's fastest demo of permissions assurance. Let me go ahead and share my screen. There we go. So let's talk about the scenario here. We're hearing this from probably universally customers. Everyone says, let's hook up Copilot, for example, against our SharePoint data, or let's hook up Gemini against our Google Drive data. And then everyone effectively immediately freaks out, because while we've always had the ability to find certain portions of sensitive data, AI makes it incredibly easy. So you can, if you have access to, the ability to see financial documents, you can just ask your AI chatbot to give you all your financial documents, and it'll go through and expose all those to you. So we want to help you get your data estate cleaned up prior to connecting your AI agents to it. Lots of other downstream security problem solved with this as well. But let's just walk through how we do that. So there's two real views and reports that you'll find within the permissions assurance application. You've got kind of a folder view, so you can understand at a top level where people are keeping sensitive information. But then you also have a detailed permissions view of that same data on the things that you need to action. So Kenna was pointing out perfectly that one of the advantages of this platform versus others is in other security-focused systems, you'll go out here and you'll get a list of 2.2 million items you need to look through because they have financial docs or legal docs or passports or PII in there, and you're just honestly going to do nothing. And so in the end, you don't actually clean up any of the security on your environment. You might as well have not spent the money on that resource. What we do within our permissions assurance product, is why we love the Redactive acquisition so much, is we give you three views on the sensitive data. Your first view is, do I have any sensitive data that is publicly exposed? So you go into Google Drive or SharePoint and you click that share button to create a public share link. And then all of a sudden, maybe you've got a driver's license in there, or maybe you have an insurance claim in there, or you have passports in there. And this means that, in theory, people could just crawl and guess that URL and now gain access to that sensitive information exposed on the internet. The other situation that we have is with third parties. So this is when you're inside of SharePoint or you're inside of Google Drive or similar connectors, and you click share with a partner or a customer or a vendor. Now, very often, folks that share documents may not realize, again, that there could be national IDs in there. There could be PII. There could be encryption keys in there. There's all kinds of potential things that could be getting cross-exposed to external sources that are considered risky. And so you do need to go through and make sure that you intentionally meant to share out those passport numbers to your customers. And finally, the other security vector to look at is shared internally. This is where we can take what is very often millions of items and narrow it down to a few thousand items per enterprise that need your attention. So the way this works is we actually use AI anomaly detection, which is a big word for saying we figure out if it's weird for somebody to have access to this sensitive information. So we will go through using those same sort of sensitive data detections, and we will say, Kenna's been with us for 4 years. Is it weird that she just now got access to driver's licenses? If so, it'll show up on this list, and the security administrator will go through and determine either, yes, Kenna, it's perfectly normal for her to have this, go ahead and let her keep having access to it, or work with the document owner to get that permission resolved and remove the access for Kenna, making that file now more secure from that perspective. And when you do all of this, you end up with a data estate that has your permissions cleaned up, and you end up with an amount of work that is actually actionable, whether it's exposed publicly, sensitive data exposed publicly, exposed to vendors or third parties, or that it's just abnormal or weird for somebody to have access to that data internally. Once all this comes together, you can more safely connect Copilot or GPT or Gemini or any of your other AI agents or generative AI solutions, and you can be confident that the intern isn't going to pull up the private acquisition notes of the CEO. So with that said, I'm going to turn it back over to Chris, who is going to now talk about how do we manage the rest of the risk on top of AI with the updates we made with our AI governance platform. So Chris, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. That was a great walkthrough. So over the last few months in AI governance, what we've been really focusing on is helping organizations turn AI programs into an actual action without losing visibility, control, and compliance. That's exactly what RexCommand is designed to solve. If you haven't had a chance to explore it yet, RexCommand has a free tier, so we're going to drop the link in the chat so you can try it out. At its core, RexCommand is the operational layer for AI governance. Basically, it's one place where your team can see what AI is actually being used across the organization. Whether that's an internal AI development or third-party tools, you can decide how to apply governance and actually demonstrate compliance as the rules keeps evolving. So it really comes down to 3 things: full visibility across your AI landscape, end-to-end governance, and building a center of enablement for compliance. What I want to walk through next is what we've shipped over the last 3 months to help you stay in control as AI usage scales, and we all know that it's scaling fast. One of the biggest things we hear from organizations is that we don't have visibility. AI adoptions usually don't start with a formal approval process. Usually starts quietly, someone's found a tool that saves them time, and pretty soon it's everywhere. Most organizations have no idea how much AI is actually in use. So this is where our Shadow AI Discovery comes in. It connects directly to your organization's existing ecosystem, and it automatically services where AI is actually being used, not where you think it might be. So the important part is that it doesn't just give you a spreadsheet. Once you uncover the tools, you can decide to automatically import that into your AI inventory. And then from there, you can decide what's to approve, what needs further review, or what needs to be restricted. So I'm going to give you a very quick demo of what that actually looks like. So this is the Shadow AI Discovery homepage. You can see that we've got all the connectors available here, like Copilot, GitHub Hugging Face, Entra ID, Vertex AI. We have Defender, Microsoft Defender, and Microsoft Intune coming up soon, as well as Okta. I have already connected to Copilot Studio, so let me jump in. Okay, what RexCommand does automatically, it will scan for applications, tools and agents that has AI built in, like this one here. So it's pretty straightforward. So I find one that I want to manage, for example, maybe this one. Then I can import this directly into my AI system inventory. And from here, I can complete the details, run risk assessment, and decide how it should be governed, whether you wanted to approve this or decide that this is for the review, or you want to reject it. So the key thing is that there's no manual handoff from discovery straight into actions. You can probably do this under 2 minutes. Just going back into the slides now. Kenna, do you mind bringing up? Cool. All right, now that once you've discovered AI usage, the next question we hear is, how do we make sure people are using these tools responsibly? So this is where our training module comes in. We've made it so much easier for you to create and manage AI training without turning governance into a massive undertaking. You can start by with our proven templates. You can also bring in your own content from scratch, or link it out to an external resources that your teams already trust. And what matters most is that the training is role appropriate, it's trackable and auditable, and all of that lives in one place. So this will give you a confidence that training isn't just assigned, but actually completed. Another theme that we hear consistently is clarity. Employees want to do the right thing, they just need to know what right looks like. With the AI policy visibility built directly into the AI submission portal flow, your staff can see what's approved, what data set is allowed, and what organization expectations are before they submit a request. So the result is better submissions, fewer back and forth cycles, and faster decision for everyone's involved. In the next slides, we've got a risk overview dashboard. As AI usage scales across an organization, keeping track of risk becomes critical, and organization needs to see the whole picture fast. Our risk overview dashboard will give you a real-time centralized view of where risk exists across your organizations, and just as importantly, where it's already been mitigated. And because everything ties back into your risk registry and the AI inventory, you're not just looking at a disconnected data, but you're also seeing a living picture of risk as it evolves over time. So finally, we wanting to make risk assessment actually practical. We know that not every AI system needs the same level of scrutiny. So our risk triage helps teams to make that call quickly and consistently. You can look at what matters, like data sensitivity, user exposure, and how critical it is to your business, and then figure out whether deeper evaluations is needed and when it isn't. Okay, so with that, I'm going to hand it back to Joe to wrap us up.
Thanks, Chris. So as I promised at the beginning of this chat, there's a lot going on. We're helping to gain control of all of your data both structured and structure. We're helping to mitigate your compliance and your security and your privacy risk across your entire data estate. We're making sure that we can safely get that data into AI systems, and we're helping you mitigate that same privacy, compliance, and security concerns on the AIs themselves. Just to kind of wrap up the theme that you'll be hearing more and more of this year, we are very much so laser focused on how do we help you tackle this, what feels like an insurmountable mountain today, but how do we help you tackle this, getting AI risk under control and getting it to where you can safely deploy AI throughout your ecosystem from both the AI ready data as well as the AI risk side of things. So next slide, please. My request for everyone is, as we go through this journey together, please do continue to use user voice. This is reviewed by our team every week. We do incorporate it into the backlog where we can to ensure that we're building the features that will make your lives easier. This is your best way to let us know directly the things that you're passionate about us building. The other resource for you is, if you haven't, I highly recommend listening to and reading our different filed offerings. We have a podcast where the team works incredibly hard to get world-class guests who have some really interesting perspectives on both your data governance, records management, and AI governance topics. And then also that newsletter. Like I legitimately read our newsletter, not just because I work here, but because it does keep me on top of all of the different happenings in the world of data leakages and changes in regulation and anything else that my personal research didn't capture. So, over on LinkedIn or many other sources, do sign up for the filed newsletter. It comes out about every week or so. It really is quite useful. And with all that said, I'd love to answer some of the questions that you have about any of our permissions assurance, information governance, AI governance, end of year wrap special offerings, or anything that's on your mind today. The team and I will stick around a few minutes and love to hear what you're curious about.
Just feel free to pop in any questions in the chat. And all of us are also available via email. So if you do have a question that pops up afterwards, all you have to do is email one of us, or your CSM can route you to the right person to answer your question as well. All right, we'll stay on for a few more minutes, but thanks all for joining, and we'll meet again next time in about 3 months. Thanks all.